That is just one story that has the attention of Mitt Romney. The former Republican presidential candidate briefly entertained a third White House run earlier this year. He joins us now, having decided not to. Governor Romney, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah.
Let's start with this Bowe Bergdahl case. First of all, you've seen the news that he is maybe court-martialed. Do you agree with that? Do you think he should be?
Well, if he deserted his post, which is what the investigation suggests, then that's appropriate for a military justice.
If a court-martial goes forward and he were convicted, do you think this is someone who should spend time in prison in a military brig?
Well, that'll be a decision made by the people who hear the absolute facts. But if it were a severe setting where he abandoned his post and put other members of the military at risk, then, of course, a prison term is something that has to be contemplated.
Let me ask you about the decision that the president made to trade 5 Taliban prisoners for Bowe Bergdahl. It was controversial. The president presumably knew the circumstances of Bowe Bergdahl's leaving his post. He said, though, leave no soldier on the battlefield. If that had been you in the Oval Office, would you have made that same call?
Well, there are two conflicting principles, American principles, at play here. One is leave no one behind, and the other is don't negotiate with terrorists. In a setting like this, Congress has said, under the law, you must have the president go to Congress. He didn't do that. He violated, again, the law. But number two, the real question for me is, do the people being released represent a threat to American lives in the future? In this case, I believe they do, and as a result, I was critical at the time of the exchange and continue to be critical.
Sounds like you would not have made that trade.
I don't think I'd have made the trade.
Okay, let's talk politics. Ted Cruz is the first in the Republican race this year. He's someone you have praised for his oratorical skills, which I might add he's used to zing you a couple of times. His theory of the case is the reason Republicans lost the 2 times round last time is because they weren't conservative enough. Do you believe that's true?
Well, that's a case he's going to take. I think everybody expresses their own views on issues, and people decide which is the view that they align with, and they choose that person to be the nominee. So Ted's going to make his case. We'll have, I think, 10 or 12 other people on the stage making their cases. We're going to have exciting debates. I think the Democrat debates are going to be pretty quiet with Hillary Clinton and a couple of people who want to be your VP. But I think Ted Cruz, among a whole group of folks, represents an interesting thought within the Republican Party. We'll see who gets the prize.
So you don't take personal offense that he's basically suggesting the reason Republicans didn't win, you didn't win in 2012, is because you were, to use his word, mushy.
Well, I would take exception. I made a lot of mistakes. There's no question about that. I'm a big target. I'm happy to have people express their views about why I lost. But that's a decision that will be made by Republican voters as to who our nominee ought to be. And Ted's a legitimate contender, obviously a very skilled orator. But we got a lot of other very legitimate contenders in this race, and I want to see how it works out.
When you decided that you were not going to join the race this year, you said it's time for a next-generation Republican leader, quote, not as well-known as you are, who's just getting started and had not yet had the opportunity to take their message across the country. I have to say, Governor, that does not sound like Governor Jeb Bush. Is that what you meant?
No, I'm talking about the next political generation. And, I, along with a few other people, ran in the last contest, and I was not successful. And my thought was we need a new face, someone not yet defined in the public's mind. Jeb Bush is one of those new faces, and I want to hear what he has to say and what Marco has to say and Chris Christie and others. And as we do, I think we're going to decide who's the person who's best able to communicate why it is that Republican principles, conservative principles, are the best at helping middle class and poor people do better in this country.
A couple quick things. Would you consider being one of these nominees vice presidents?
Oh, I don't think anyone wants to be VP.
Not a good job?
I won't say all the things that have been said about the job, but I'm looking to try and support one of these folks and help them become our next president.
That sounds like a no to me. Let's talk about your next career as a boxing champion. You are taking on former heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield in the ring. This is for charity. What on earth are you thinking?
Well, all I'm thinking is don't get him angry, all right? Because we just have to go very soft on each other and have a little fun in the arena. And you're right, we're raising money for something called Charity Vision, which provides surgeries to the very poor people in the world. And he's very kind to be willing to get in the ring with me and not hurt me too bad.
And if Evander's the real deal, Rocky was the Italian stallion. Are you thinking of a boxing nickname for yourself?
Just the fastest runner ever seen inside a boxing arena.
Governor Romney, thank you so much. We'll look for that. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Savannah.